What is going on, everybody? Welcome into the Instant Classic Wrestling Podcast, the only podcast that is always, and I mean always, an instant classic. So, consistently, always, all the time, every time you tune in, you're going to be like, oh man, that was pretty instant classic. Like, I mean, that's just how it is. That's just how we do it around here. That's just how we do it. Um, but definitely excited. We got TNA Impact Wrestling for September the 2nd. It is a new month already. Good gravy. The year's going by pretty quick. It's the second day of the ninth month of the year, and it's craziness, man. Definitely excited. We got the TNA GFW thing that they're trying to do. I know you had said something about it, so we're just gonna start out with overall thoughts really quick. I like this TNA Global Force thing that they're doing, and I just kind of I don't know if you like it at all. I just know I agree with you on at least one point where I just don't like that there's not a lot of people involved. Like I hate that number one, it's like half of the roster for TNA doesn't know what's going on, like like are completely out of the loop, and then the other half is like all in. Like that's kind of or not even really half, it's not like five people, but I just don't that's one of the things I don't like personally about this. I like the whole invasion thing. I like the whole we're trying to take over thing, but I just don't. And I like the way it's all playing out storyline wise. I just don't like that it's only a couple of people here and a couple of people there. I kind of wish they could have got some more people, especially on GFW's side, as far as like not necessarily Ring of Honor guys, because I know that's kind of one of those things you really can't do, especially if they don't TNA and Ring of Honor don't agree on it. I know it's something in their contracts where they can't appear on two television programs or something like that. So I feel like it would be, better if they could use because I know they have a lot of like guys that aren't necessarily contracted under Ring of Honor. So I wish they could have done something with that or something. But what are your overall thoughts on this so far? I mean, I like it. I just think it feels like it feels like the WWE invasion thing where like you're excited for it, but there's no like big stars in it. Like I mean, there's guys we know from being wrestling fans, but there's no like big, stars in it. It feels like.
I mean, for me, I don't necessarily need big stars. It's just, and I do like the invasion storyline. I do like that whole thing. I just don't like how they're doing it. I don't like that it's the same five guys against the same five guys. Both of these companies have bigger rosters. I don't want to say like big in general, but bigger than what we're actually seeing. So I want to see more guys from GFW. If GFW is taking over or is trying to take over TNA, I want to see all of GFW in this. I don't want to see five guys. And if TNA is trying to defend itself, I want to see all of TNA defend itself, not just five guys. And I'm always going to keep going back to the WWE invasion because even with that, the whole WWE roster was in it. The whole WWE roster was defending the WWE. The whole WCW roster and ECW roster were trying to invade and take over. It wasn't just 10 guys in a match. It's just I feel like they're not doing enough with it. Um, and also, there's another part to it that I'll get into in the first match. But I just don't like how they're doing it. It could be a really great storyline. It's just they're spreading it too thin, I think.
Alrighty, so let's jump into this show. We had the Hardys and EC3 arriving at the Impact Zone, I guess you could say. Then we got a video package on what went down last week. I'm sure you don't have any thoughts on any of those things. They're pretty minute things, nothing really much you could say about it. So we got Jeff Jarrett and GFW pretty much opening up the show. Jarrett talks about being humble, how he came back and he was humble. He was celebrating his anniversary victory for the Kingdom Mountain Championship. He says he was given his recognition and he was given a chance to thank those who built the company, more so talking about the TNA Originals. He talks about how he helped Dixie, and then Karen comes out. Well, Karen, piggybacks off of that, and she says, she saw the work that he put in. She had all these people taken out and whatnot. The fans start chanting TNA, which I thought was pretty nice to hear. At least kind of sticking up for TNA from a fan's point of view. She talks about how she got Chris Mordeski to take out Bully and Drew. Jeff comes back and he says, "Thank you for setting the wheels in motion." He's taking the joint back over. Tonight starts a complete corporate hostile takeover. He says he does have some ownership of the company, so there's nothing you can do about it. And then Mordeski just kind of talks down the TNA roster a little bit, and then basically challenges anyone, and Lashley ends up answering the challenge, and then we eventually have a match between Mordeski and Lashley. Any thoughts on GFW opening up the show?
Um, I like that GFW kind of opened the show. The one thing I don't like is I just personally think in this storyline they should have kind of had Sanjay Dutt be the one who took out Bully and who took out Drew, just because it would have made a lot more sense, at least to me, in the fact that with Jarrett trying to retake control of TNA, since Sanjay Dutt is kind of more so a TNA original, he was there. So it would make sense for him to kind of want to help, Jeff Jarrett take the company back, since he's been trying, it's been, you see interviews where he's been trying to get TNA to, re-sign him again for a while. So it would kind of be like, what? We're finally going to take, TNA back. You wouldn't take me back for a while. Jeff Jarrett was the only one who ever gave me a chance. It would have just made more sense a little bit, at least with, fans of, the original, back in the day with TNA, I mean, I understand that they're trying to push Chris Mordeski, but I would have liked to have seen more of Sanjay Dutt be that kind of leading kind of superstar or wrestler in their, in the GFW, just because people, in general, the fans are going to recognize him more. I mean, yeah, we remember Chris Mordeski as Chris Masters, but, all you really remember is the Master Lock Challenge. You don't really remember much else from him. So I just think they should have done that, but that's a minor thing.
Alrighty, I agree. I agree with that. It would have made more logical sense, I think, because Mordeski really hasn't had any impact, on TNA in the past. So yeah, it would have made a lot more sense that way. But next we get Chris Mordeski versus Lashley. For some reason, I was expecting Jesse Goddard to answer this challenge. I think because of the whole Odonis thing, I'm hoping that they go at it. I don't know why. I mean, they're just playing off nicknames here, so I just can't help it but to want this match, right? I think we all do. We all do. We're just all not admitting it. That's what it is. That's what it is. That's what it is. That's what it is. But Lashley pretty much is intimidating Mordeski at the start. But Mordeski does fight back. It's a freaking name. I mean, I kind of want to go back to Masters. That Mordeski gets me all tongue tied in the middle there, man. I'm telling you. Mordeski fights back, but he's met with the clothesline. Double sledge for the comeback by Mordeski. Mordeski locks in a headlock. Then he's taken to the outside. The still steps. He throws Lashley into the still steps. That's kind of starts his comeback attempt. Spear attempt by Lashley, but it's reversed into a spine buster. Mordeski with the Mordeski lock attempt. Goodness gracious, that name. Lashley fights out into a power slam, spear by Lashley. And I thought the sell by both Lashley and Mordeski looked really good. But then GFW attacks as he tries to go for the pin. The Wolves try to come out to help, but GFW basically dominates. We get the kind of a moon stop. It was a moonsault that ended up being a double foot stomp by Sanjay Dutt. Looks really cool. And then Karen Jarrett is bringing some sort of surprise out. And then we went to commercial. Any thoughts on the Chris Mordeski versus Lashley match?
I mean, I thought it was a pretty good match. I just still, and I'm gonna say this a million times during the storyline, I just hate that it's the same 5 TNA stars against the same 5 GFW stars. Um, the only thing I really don't like in general about this, with and you said it too, with Chris Mordetsky, and there's really nothing that they can probably do about this because WWE probably had the rights to the name Chris Masters, so they probably couldn't use that. But just the Mordetsky lock sounds so bad. I miss the master lock because it made sense. You can kind of visualize like a master lock. It kind of it worked. And just I can't do the more desky lock. It's just, oh no.
I'm curious. Did you? I think I saw this right. Didn't he have a Chris Masters shirt on though? Like I saw Masters on the front of his shirt. I don't know if I'm mistaken, but it looked like it was Masters on that shirt.
I don't know. I didn't see that. I might have to go on to watch wrestling and check that out.
Alrighty. Karen comes out with a case with a number 3 on it, and we can assume that it's a Feast or Fire case. Um, it ends up being the tag team Feast or Fire case, and it comes from Magnus. Um, Earl, they want Earl to come out and kind of ring the bell and whatnot and officiate this match between the already beaten down Wolves and what would soon to be Trevor Lee and Brian Myers. But Earl is not having it. He strikes Jeff, and then Jeff strikes him. Um, I don't know if Earl died or what happened when he got hit, but he was he was he was done. I was like, I was, so I'm official out there and make sure he's okay because he was not. I don't know what happened to Earl when he got hit, but what was weird about this to me is I know that Magnus is on the GFW side now because I read the news and whatnot. But from the outside looking in, as a fan who doesn't keep up with that, just watching on a regular basis and doesn't keep up with the news and whatnot, you number one, you probably wouldn't even know Magnus was gone. Number two, you wouldn't know he was in kind of cahoots with GFW. So like that was kind of my thing that I wasn't confused because I knew what was going on, but like for the other fans, I was like, I'm pretty sure they don't know why Magnus did this. You know what I mean? And it didn't really make sense to me. But anyway, any thoughts on Karen Jarrett revealing the she has the pizza fire case?
I was confused as hell with this until like halfway through the match when they finally explained that apparently Magnus went to GFW, which I had known, but apparently he gave them the briefcase, which itself made me confused because why didn't he just keep it himself and become tag team champs and with a member of the GFW roster? Why would he give it away so that somebody else could? That just didn't make sense to me. I was like, why would you do that? I don't get it. But I mean, I like it. I like that Trevor Lee and Brian Myers won the TNA tag team titles, so you kind of get that kind of dynamic. But I just don't understand why Magnus wouldn't keep it himself and either tag with like Trevor Lee or Brian Myers or somebody else on the GFW roster. That way, because he won the briefcase, so it's like, why would you just give that away? I don't know. That just confused me. But I mean, like I said, I like that Trevor Lee and Brian Myers have the titles now, so it's like, it brings that new dynamic. But
Yeah, I agree. I was a little confused about that too. I'm like, why? I mean, like, why would he give it away? How are we supposed to know this? Like, it just took so long. And then we had the Wolves versus Trevor Lee and Brian Myers. It was pretty quick, obviously, considering the Wolves got beat down before this match even started. It basically what happened was Sanjay Dutt ended up distracting, and then we got the briefcase shot on Eddie Edwards by Trevor Lee to win the match. So I think it is interesting because I want to see where it's going to kind of go, um, as far as the whole TNA GFW thing. I'm glad they changed. They had a title change hands because it makes it feel more like they could probably take over with all five of the people they brought with them. All five of the people they can fit in their van. To get down the road. I'm just glad.
Oh, that's what it is. It makes sense now. Makes sense. I get it. I
I
get it.
mean, TNA is famous for when they have a special guest, they give them that van. You don't get a limo, you get that van. So I completely, I get it. I get it. That's what it was. They can only bring five people. You can't only fit but so many people in that van. It's understandable. But next we get a little backstage interview with Rude talking about chaos and what's going on. He doesn't really care about the chaos though. He's just tired of being disrespected. And tonight he's going to take the gold from PJ Black. He says PJ is at the wrong place at the wrong time with the wrong guy. I thought that was pretty interesting. I was intrigued by this match. I felt like, for some reason, I felt like Rude could win because I felt like they were going to try to switch the titles up a little bit to especially this one that's not really, it's important, but it's not really that important. It just got created like a couple weeks ago. Technically, it just got created like 5 years ago, but all the technicalities aside,
It's been recycled a few times.
they put it in a recycling bin. They did a lot of things. But I was excited about the match nonetheless. Then we got an EC3 interview. He says tonight Matt and Jeff choose their own adventure. Have chosen their own adventure. He kind of reads from this adventure novel, which I kind of thought was an interesting way of him kind of telling a story. He says they said Matt Hardy would never die, but his aspirations will at the hands of EC3. I like my World Heavyweight Championship and streak intact. Jeff Hardy, get ready to do the work. So, any thoughts on EC3 or Bobby Roode, any of that stuff?
Not really, no.
Alrighty, so let's continue and go to PJ Black versus Bobby Roode. Do you want to take this match or no? Or would you like another match?
Let me.
Did another match pique your interest a little bit more than this one? Rude does. He does come out and talk about how he's a TNA original and one of the only ones left and whatnot. So he cut a little promo early.
I guess I guess I'll take this one. I'll take it off your hands. Don't worry. But yeah, he opens up with a little promo, which I actually kind of thought, especially for Bobby Roode, this promo was a little weak for me. It didn't. He usually does really good promos. He's one of those guys that does really good promos, and for this one just seemed weak to me. I don't know why, but good match. He definitely kept up with PJ Black. Like I said last week, I didn't really see any of those guys kind of being really good in a match with PJ Black, just because all their styles kind of clash a lot. PJ Black is that high flyer, and even Mr. Anderson and Bobby Roode aren't really high flyers, so it's kind of it's a different dynamic. But I felt like they did a really good match. I just didn't like that it wasn't a traditional King of the Mountain match where they have to get the ladder and hang up the title. I don't know why they didn't do that. I mean, obviously, they have the ladders because they always have the ladders because they're always under the ring. You got to have them under the ring for, just there. There's no reason for it. There's no reason why there's 37 chairs under there and 5 ladders. They're just always under there. It's a wrestling thing. You wouldn't understand. But I just didn't understand why they didn't do a tradition, and they didn't even explain why it wasn't a traditional King of the Mountain match. I was like, okay, so you can just make any random King of the Mountain match and it's still a King of the Mountain match? What? But I mean, that was originally why I was so interested in King of the Mountain matches, because they were different like that. Instead of taking the title down, you have to put the title up. So just the fact that it wasn't like that in this match was kind of upset me. But it was a good match. I wasn't really expecting the title to change. Because I still feel like for a while there, they weren't really sure what they were doing with Bobby Roode. We had thought, we had heard that he was going to GFW, so we kind of I was waiting to see, if he was gonna, if PJ Black was gonna lay down for him, or if he was gonna, do something to where, he turns on TNA. But it was a good match though. What were your thoughts?
Um, I definitely thought it was quite interesting of a match. I, I didn't think about the King of the Mountain thing. I did. I was like, I don't know why this isn't a King. But I don't know what they could have did, especially considering they did the number one contenders match last week. Unless they did like a singles, like King of the Mountain rules type of a match or something. But which wouldn't make sense with the having to be eligible thing in this match because once you get them in the penalty box, you pretty much win. So I don't
Well,
know.
I mean, they didn't have to have the eligibility thing, but still, having to hang up the title.
Yeah, yeah, I understand what you mean. I don't know, because I feel like now it just feels like some random title. It doesn't feel like the King of the Mountain title, per se, I guess. But this was a pretty good match. It wasn't bad. Um, I thought it was pretty good. I did feel like sometimes they didn't feel really comfortable with each other. Um, I like that this wasn't like BDC first starting type stuff where you know GFW gets involved and then PJ Black wins. I was glad that it kind of changed a little bit because if you think about the BDC storylines, it was always like BDC gets involved, BDC wins or whatnot. So I'm glad they kind of changed it up a little bit. I thought that was cool. Um, After the match, Jeff Jarrett uh, calls out Drew Galloway because Drew Galloway got involved in this match. He talks about we're not leaving until we take over. We're taking back what you stole from us. Dixie Carter comes out. She says all she wants to do is work by his side and whatnot. Uh, words. Basically, what happened was this sets up. I just didn't feel like reading all of that. Basically, what happened was this basically set up a lethal lockdown match that won't be at lockdown, just be at a regular Impact. Um, just be an excerpt from lockdown, lethal lockdown match. Um, to determine who gets the majority. I My only thing about this is I don't like for something that big to be settled in one match. I think there should be like a series of matches that kind of settles this instead of one. And plus, it's going to be in 2 weeks, so that kind of means that this may end in 2 weeks, which is weird because it feels like it just started. Um, I don't know. I'm interested to see how it's gonna go, but I just don't know, and it kind of once again shows you that they're only using 5 guys, which is weird because you would think TNA if let's just say GFW said, hey, we're good enough where we can just use 5 people and take over TNA. Well, I feel like it would be a lot easier if TNA said, hey, we got the numbers game here. We can do what we need to do to get this. See, and this kind of shows that we're only gonna use the same 5 guys. This match, this lethal lockdown match. But Casey, any thoughts on the aftermath?
I mean, it is weird that it's only 2 weeks and then, they have this big match. But I mean, I suppose they could keep it going, say if GFW wins and then they take over TNA, we would still see them on, TNA, and then we could still see, I mean, if Dixie's leaving, which it sounds like she might be, I don't know what's going on business wise, if she actually is leaving or if she's kind of, trying to get off of, more of the on-screen role, you know, but I mean, they could kind of work it either way, I think, to where the guys would still, and then it would still, ongoing kind of help GFW grow a little bit, help TNA get back, to where they would like to be. So I don't necessarily think, in 2 weeks it'll be the end either way. But it'll just be a good match, and then maybe that'll build up and add more people to it. After that, maybe we'll see more guys from GFW after that. Maybe we'll see more guys from TNA against those guys from GFW after the lockdown. But I'm just excited to see what they do with it.
Alrighty then. So me too.
I
I'm
thought you
definitely.
froze for a second.
Oh no, I muted it because my computer was playing weird sounds, so I had to figure that out. But next we got GFW kind of getting hype backstage. Can we do it? Yeah, we can. Can you fix it? Yes, you can. Shout out to Bob the Builder for that one. Next we get a Kenny King promo, which was kind of surprising to see Kenny King. I'm kind of glad they used this promo to kind of explain some stuff because, like I said before, if you didn't know that MVP had gotten in trouble or whatnot, you wouldn't know what happened to the BDC. Um, so I'm glad Kenny King came out and cut this pretty nice promo, talking about how he's been going through an identity crisis. He wants to be a leader. He doesn't want to hit people from behind and whatnot. He, wants to renew this little open fight night thing, which I thought was pretty cool. So he was waiting for anyone to kind of come out and fight him. I liked this promo because it kind of had some closure to the BDC situation, um, which I felt like they could have just been kind of real with us on this one, and just like I felt like this throughout the whole thing. They could have showed like MVP's tweets about how MVP is he's kind of upset about how the direction of the BDC. He decided the BDC wasn't worth it anymore or whatnot. They could have like explained it to us a little bit better than just like throwing it away and acting like for those who don't keep up with the news, you wouldn't have known what was going on. But next we get Kenny King versus anybody come out person, open fight night person, and it's Bram. And I was like, what? I At this point I wasn't thinking of TNA being taped, um, so I was kind of like, what? Bram's on the show. If you guys don't know, Bram, apparently he got fired this week because of some domestic violence issue with his parent girlfriend, not Charlotte, but girlfriend. Um, Charlotte's his wife, but apparently he was with. He said it was his girlfriend, so I'm not sure who it may have been. Um, it may have been his side chick. It was his side chick, obviously. But King attacks Bram on the ramp. Kenny King with a nice corkscrew springboard. And then King gets caught with a clothesline as he tries to dive off the steps. King gets the nice spinning round kick and a drop kick in the corner for two. We get he tries to go for the springboard senton, but it's reversed into the brighter side of suffering for the win. Actually, I don't know why I put for two for the win. I'm surprised that Bram won this, and I think this went back to me knowing more than I need to know right now. That's why I was so surprised that he won this match. And plus, Kenny King was just coming back, so I was expecting Kenny King to win since he was just coming back, trying to renew himself and whatnot. I'm interested to see what they're gonna do with Bram because he's obviously in this big feud with Anderson. It doesn't look like they're gonna take him off of TV. So I don't know. I'm interested. I want to see what they're gonna do with it because I think they fired him. Any thoughts on that though?
This whole thing confused me so much. I was like, first of all, it was cool to see Kenny King back after a while, and it was cool that he kind of gave a little bit of an explanation as to what happened with the BDC because they just kind of were gone. But he's trying to say he doesn't want to, attack people from behind. He doesn't want to, basically, he doesn't want to be a heel, is what he's saying. But Kenny King is one of those guys who is just naturally a heel. He's always been a better heel than a face. I don't remember him having a run as a face. He's always been a heel. So I didn't like that. And and I don't understand, like you said, why he would, have this, big promo and kind of have this explanation and come back just to lose to Bram. Um, and then I was kind of it was I knew it was kind of pre-recorded, but it was kind of funny to see Bram after I heard that he was apparently fired. Which surprise unless he was fired before this aired, because there was
I,
gonna.
I heard. I just read something on it. Apparently, he was suspended indefinitely, not fired.
Oh, okay, but I know a couple guys who have been fired or left TNA. They actually cut them out of the show and put something else in there. So I know they've done that in the past. So I was surprised that he was on, but now that I guess he's just been suspended indefinitely. But I just don't understand why Kenny King lost. What are they going to do with him now? Usually if you're going to have a big comeback, you return and you win. You don't lose. So it's kind of like, they kind of put themselves in a corner. I feel like, to where what are they going to do with him? I don't understand. But
Yeah, and I don't really understand. Number one, him losing. But like, are they gonna go with something where he's like, I can't, he's gonna have to change himself completely, or I don't know. What surprised me though about this is that he went against Bram. Bram is in a pretty intense feud with Mr. Anderson right now, so I felt like it was weird that it was Bram. It should have been somebody that he probably would have beaten rather than Bram. I feel like you can't have him have him beat Bram. It wouldn't have made any sense. But next, we get an interview with Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy, the Hardys. Jeff says, I have agreed to a deal with some super crazy consequences. He says, family moments, dreams, that is what life is made of. Matt comes back and he says, you've been masking your fear, talking to EC3. Your belief in me fuels me. Now talking to Jeff Hardy. He says, everyone will see that Matt Hardy won't die, and neither will my TNA World Heavyweight Championship dreams. Any thoughts on the interview with Matt and Jeff Hardy, the Hardys?
I I love Jeff. I do. He was my favorite superstar growing up. I just can't take him seriously anymore. I can't. I can't do it. Um,
We need Willow back. We need Willow back.
no, we don't need Willow back. that, that is something we do not need back. That was just, ugh. Um, but yeah, I was excited for this match just to see, what happened. I wanted Matt to finally win the title, but part of me was kind of curious if he lost, what is gonna happen with Jeff Hardy? What's EC3 gonna make him do? Is he gonna have to dress like a butler or something? Like I'm curious. But I was just excited for the match because I felt like they were gonna have a good match anyway. Just because Tyrus hasn't really been getting involved that much lately, so it's been he's been having better matches, so to where you're not worried about Tyrus getting involved and just getting a DQ, because that gets boring after a while. But I was just excited.
Indeed. Next, we get your favorite. Oh man, this probably was your favorite segment of the night. To be honest, I'll be real. If Ryan was watching, he probably would have felt the same way. We got a Velvet Sky promo. She talks about how she's been pretty much keeping to herself. How the knockouts division is constantly, changing. And she talks about tearing out. She created this cult of monsters. And says, you're gonna wish you never even met me. She wants Terran Throw to get out there right now, or right then, however you want to say it. Terrell appears on the Titantron. She says, I've been compared to you, but we never really even crossed paths because I would destroy you at every level. She says you look like you stumbled out a hot topic. These women will destroy you. Talking about the dollhouse. Remember, this is my house, and you must play with my dollhouse. And the dollhouse comes out there, the new and improved, I guess you could say, dollhouse, or new and new dollhouse, uh, with Rebel manning the middle. She comes out and Velvet says, "It looks like you didn't bring enough people with you, ladies." Velvet tries to take him out herself. The numbers game gets the best of her. And then we get Angelina Love, Casey's favorite TNA knockout, and Madison Rain come out to even the odds. And they say it looks like playtime is over. Obviously, Angelina Love and Rain had a little bit different tint to their hair and makeup and such. Um, and they say, looks like playtime is over. Looks like the dollhouse just met the new and improved beautiful people. And Taryn, it's on now, baby girl. So oh, oh man, baby girl. Oh, who is she? Who she think she is? Roman Reigns? She can't say baby girl on live TV. Come on. But I don't know. I was interested just because um I want to see if this edgy, because I like the edgy Velvet Sky. I want to see if this edgy Madison. Nah, God, I can't even get this out right now. It's that baby girl is just too much for me. This edgy, beautiful people. Is what brings down the dollhouse. I'm interested. And still no sign of that hand of Terry Terrell. Obviously, hop eyes back there, man. That's what it was. We know. We have caught on to you, TNA. We have caught on. Casey, thoughts on your favorite? I know it had to be your favorite segment of the night. Come on. I mean, the dollhouse was out there. You love them.
I do. I like the dollhouse. But the beautiful people back is exactly what I didn't want ever. Oh. I mean, I will give him the benefit of the doubt. Hopefully they are more of an edgy kind of, not the typical beautiful people where they go back to their normal, ring attire, normal.
You know they're gonna shake their butts on the ropes. You know it's gonna
No,
happen.
no, it needs to not happen. I like if they do more of an edgy kind of like they did with Velvet Sky, kind of jeans and kind of you know I'll give it a shot. But if they're just gonna do the same beautiful people that they've always done, what was the point of ever breaking them up? I and I just seriously can't see the beautiful people seriously taking out the dollhouse. I don't see it. Um, but can we move on now?
Sure, it's 4-on-3, so obviously the dollhouse wins. LOL, dollhouse wins. Uh, but I'm gonna tell you though, you know who could take out the dollhouse and the beautiful people combined? John Cena. I don't know if you've seen those memes, but being a wrestling fan hits me right in the heart, man. Every time I see one of those, I'm just like, yes. But anyway, we got a video package on EC3 and Matt Hardy. Their kind of feud going on. We go backstage with Team TNA. All five of them, ready, set, ready, willing, and Gable. It looks like. Um, Basically, we have this like, should we do this moment with Dixie Carter? And the camera kind of pans out. Well, first it starts out because when I was writing the notes, I'm like, so Dixie Carter and um, Lashley. Now, okay. Oh wait a minute. It's Dixie Carter and then it's Dixie Carter. As the camera started to pan, I was like, just screw it. TNA, Team TNA, whatever. So they were kind of this, should we do this moment? Let's fight for our family. Let's do all this. Let's bring TNA back to the promised land and whatnot. Any thoughts on Team TNA being backstage? Wondering if they should do it. Obviously, they were going to do it because why not? Do it.
Is this going to be Lockdown or is this going to be Survivor Series? Team TNA versus Team GFW versus Team Cena versus Team Orton. What is going on right now? Oh, I'm done. I can't. I'm done.
Oh, alrighty. So next we get Matt Hardy versus EC3 for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship, and if Christopher Daniels was holding it, of the world. So we're excited. We're excited. We got the World Heavyweight Championship on the line. Winner takes the championship, and if EC3 wins, Jeff Hardy becomes his personal servant. Um, Matt Hardy's in control early, but EC3 gets back in it, kind of taunting. Gets the best of EC3 though. We get a side effect for 2 by Matt Hardy. Twist the Fate reverse as Hardy runs into the ref. He hits the Twist the Fate again, but the ref is out, so obviously can't can't win that way. Tyrus hits Hardy, and then Hardy gets hit with a belt for 2. Jeff Hardy with a distraction. Matt Hardy rolls him up. I thought that might have been that was a really good really good roll up and long 2 count and whatnot there with the roll up with Hardy. I thought that could be it there. The headbutt and EC3 falls from the top. Hardy's take out Tyrus. TKO on Matt Hardy though. We get the splash reverse into the tornado DDT by Matt Hardy. Twist of Fate reverse into a clothesline. EC3 going Twist of Fate, but it's reversed. EC3 pins the ref in the corner. We get the low blow on Hardy. Sunset flip for the win by EC3. And then EC3 gets Jeff Hardy to raise his hand. So the serving starts now. And if you guys didn't know, EC3 is still the champ. Darn it, he's still.
Your sound went out.
No.
There we go.
He's the champ. Darn it. Just in case they're trying to cut me off, because he's the champ. Any thoughts on the champ? Darn it.
I thought it was a really good match. I felt like there was about 37 kickouts in this match. There was a lot. Like, I mean, Jeff Hardy kicked out and he wasn't even in the match. I mean, it was crazy. The only question I have is, how come the first time Brian Hebner was knocked out or knocked into the corner, he was down for like 5 minutes? Then the second time he was knocked in the corner, he didn't even go down to a knee. Consistency, come on, Brian. Consistency. You're a ref. If you get hit, you go down for at least 5 minutes every time.
He's not taking notes, man. He's not taking notes from Earl. Did you see that sell by Earl earlier?
I know, he's still down. But it was a good match. Like I said, I'm curious to see what they do with the storyline now. Is Matt gonna get another title shot sometime? Come on, give him the title. He's.
I'll tell you what I think's gonna happen. I feel like what's gonna happen is they're gonna have this servant thing, and then Jeff Hardy's gonna be like, "I want one match at Bound for Glory for the title. If I win, I get the title, and I'm not your servant anymore. If you win, obviously you get." I feel like that's what's gonna happen, and probably what's gonna happen is gonna end up leading Jeff Hardy winning the title of Bound for Glory because it's in North Carolina. And no, I can't imagine EC3 not being undefeated. It can't happen. It can't happen. The streak. The streak. But yeah, that was TNA for this week. It wasn't terrible, wasn't great, but we're getting GFW. We're getting the 10-man show, GFW versus TNA. So I just want to see where it's gonna go. I want to see if there's gonna be any crazy turns. Vince Russo might come out and end up being a TNA champion or something. It seems like something Vince Russo would do, right? Do it himself. But anyway, I'm definitely excited to see what's going to go down. What happens with EC3, Matt Hardy, Jeff Hardy, all that. Any final thoughts, Casey? Are you joining Team GFW so we have more people or what?
I think I might join Team GFW. I mean, they need more guys. They're not using their full potential. But then again, if they lose it's like, why did I join this team? Also, we saw Scott D'Amore. So obviously they're bringing Team Canada back. If anyone knows that reference, Team Canada. Um, I was like, yes, it's Scott D'Amore. I got really excited, but I don't know. I really hope the storyline gets better because, like I've been saying, this is an awesome storyline. They're just not doing it well with just the 10 guys. It's boring.
Alrighty. So there we go. TNA Impact Wrestling review for 9/2/2015. It's September already, guys. Year's going by quickly. We'll be at Bound for Glory really soon. That's in a month. Actually, today on the 6th, it's actually a little bit less than a month. So exciting stuff. We will. I think it's on the 4th. I think so. But we'll see you guys later. If you haven't already, push the subscribe button. It's not hard, man. I mean, you can close your eyes and probably do it. Or if you do it too quickly, you might pause the video. So just open your eyes real quick, press it, and then you can close them again if you want to. You go take a nap, whatever you need to do. We'll see you guys later. Leave a like, share it, put it on your Facebook, put it on your Twitter. You know, put it on your bottom of your shoe and throw the shoe, and somebody gonna see it. Somebody gonna see it. We will see you guys on the flip side, not the flippity dippity, because that's not real. The flip side, guys. See you guys later.